Hello, Star Citizens, and welcome to another episode of Star Citizen Nightly. As always, we are running our 2-ship contest. Make sure you go back and check previous videos to see what the rules of those contests are. We're just going to hop right into this one to keep it short. All right, so CitizenCon is doing, of course, their cosplay contest, and they have announced the rules for it. So this year they say they're doing things a little bit differently. So if you've entered before, they're rewarding prizes based on the following categories: best in show, most creative, best performance, and audience favorite. Judges will be rating your cosplay for the categories of creativity, originality, craftsmanship, stage presence. The rules are: all applicants must already have access to the event, meaning you have to have a ticket. Costumes must be PG-13 appropriate. Surprising the audience is okay. Surprising staff is not. Anything you plan to do on stage must get pre-clearance from the event organizers first. And they give you how to contact that event organizer. All accepted applicants must meet before the show for pictures and stage rehearsals, which will be disclosed following your application acceptance. Failure to meet during this time will result in removal from the competition. So, yes, you got to do pictures, even if you don't want to do pictures. But I don't know why you would enter a cosplay contest if you didn't want to do pictures. Weapons are not allowed. Any props must be submitted for clearance using the same email for your application. So, don't bring in fake weapons unless it's absolutely cleared by CIG. Group entries are allowed, but may only be rewarded a single physical prize, which means you can enter with as many people as you want, but you're only going to get one thing. So make sure it's an org thing, right? And then the application deadline is September 27th, which means you can't go all the way up until October 19th. It will take place either on the 19th or the 20th of October. And as always, they have the application details. So, of course, I will link this stuff in the comments below. And let's move on. The cosplay contest is part 1. All right, so there's not a whole lot of like legit news today, so much as we're kind of learning what CIG's devs are really not wanting to see on Spectrum today. This one is somebody actually had an issue with purchasing something, and I guess it didn't show up, but it's saying they don't have a token or something like that. But the idea is it was something that you could pause and read it here. But the idea is it was something that's supposed to be handled by the support team, customer support. And they posted it on Spectrum because I think they were kind of tired of waiting on Spectrum. So yeah, so let's go back to, and that one ties in with the next one, so let's actually talk about that. I want to go all the way to the top on this one. So this one says, I spent $2,500 on a Javelin, and this, look, I get it, it's an alpha and the game is being developed, but what's the point of having a concierge customer support if you're just going to ignore your donors? I bought a Javelin pledge. Someone on the Facebook group mentioned that it doesn't come with weapons. So I did some Googling and came across conflicting info. So I figured, why not put in a ticket to Ask CIG? They would know. I did that 2 weeks ago. I'm still waiting for a response. Not even a sorry, we don't know, just silence. So I'm putting those two together because they kind of are about the same thing, right? They're both kind of just waiting on a response from customer support. And I think there's something to be said about all of this stuff. The first busiest time of year for Star Citizen, as far as the dev team and support team are concerned, is the first time is IAE. They are more busy during IAE than any other time of the year. The second busiest time is Invictus and the preceding days after. And the same thing goes for IAE, the preceding days after IAE, because there's things that go wrong. So if all you have is a question about why I didn't get something or whether something comes with something, think about all of the things that could be going wrong for other people, right? Like there's people who bought a ship and literally didn't get the ship. There's people who, the game completely broke for them. There's people who were supposed to get, discount coupons and never got them. There's people who applied discounts and it charged them full amounts. Like there's people whose money is on the line here, right? There's people who have had these extremely serious things, right, have happened right at the start of this ship sale, and they put in their tickets, right? And then you have people who just want to know if there's guns on a $2,500 ship that they purchased, but they didn't do their research beforehand. I'm just saying, nothing wrong with like buying a $2,500 ship, but you probably should know what you're buying if you're going to spend $2,500, unless you just got it like that. Some people have $2,500 to just throw up, but I know I bought my most expensive ships after months and months and months of research. So if I would have put that into the regular customer support, I would have had an answer before I purchased that ship. So obviously it could be that the person didn't know this. Maybe they did months of research and this just never came up. But the idea is, if you're going to spend a lot of money on something, you probably should do the research before. So even if you don't, 2 weeks is, I mean, maybe you're new to Star Citizen's concierge support, but 2 weeks is fairly standard of a wait. If you were guaranteed to get an answer in 2 weeks, I think that would be pretty good. Especially for a ship that is not even in the game yet. You're asking a question about something that is not in the game yet at all. The ship is probably one of the ship. This ship is probably not coming in for at least another year. So even if they don't answer your question for another year, I think you'd be okay. Now, if you're trying to get a refund or something like that, that would be different, but they didn't mention a refund. Now, if you're saying I'm going to get a refund if it doesn't come with weapons, then maybe you got a point there. But either way, I don't think that it's worth going all in on CIG for lack of customer support. Think about how many concierge members there has to be, right? There has to be anywhere between 70 and 100,000 concierge members at this point. And this is just going off, I've seen some numbers somewhere at some point. I can't remember where, but let's say it's less than that. Let's say it's even 50,000, 10,000. If there were only 10,000 concierge members, how long do you think you would have to respond? Like, how long do you think it would take them to respond if only 1% of those people had questions? Not to mention the fact that the customer support team has to deal with more people than concierge, right? So they deal with concierge and they have other people. So is 2 weeks long? Yes, but this is what I meant when I talked in the other one. I think sometimes we got to let CIG just kind of work, there's a sense of entitlement, I think, that comes with being concierge. That just means you get yours gets heard before somebody else's that's not concierge. It doesn't guarantee that you'll get an answer in a certain amount of time. So if you were thinking that, I think this is your answer. That's not how it works. It's priority. That means you get a higher level of priority. The same way if you go to a hospital and your finger is bleeding, yes, you are actively bleeding. But if somebody comes in and, they can't breathe, they are a higher priority than you because they are more likely to have a worse outcome than you. So yes, you are priority when you walk in, but it doesn't mean that a higher priority can't arrive. And it doesn't mean that once you became priority, you were the highest priority, because there's levels to this. All right, enough about CIG support stuff. Let's keep on moving on. All right, the next piece of news. Now, I'm only mentioning this because these are the developers' responses, right? Developers in the first one were basically like, hey, discuss this with customer support. The second one about the Javelin, this is one of the busiest times for concierge support. And so, yes, your ticket replies are elevated, but they're not being ignored. It just takes a while. And then this next one is kind of a little different. SC deserves much better than MM, which is Master Modes, aka Call of Duty. in space. A lot of people don't like master modes, which I understand. Especially if you played this game for 11, 12 years and you were used to it being the same way, because it's exactly the same way for that whole 12 years. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. It changed like 6 times now. It's changed 6 times. So if you don't like master modes, I understand. But the fact that it's changed 6 times should probably tell you that whatever it is now doesn't necessarily mean that's the way it will stay. So I don't know if, complaining about master modes is going to change it or not. I want you to be vocal and let it be known. But I think it will probably help more to be vocal about why it's bad, because I think those tend to get a lot more traction when you're trying to get the game changed. It's bad because the combat is slow. It's bad because I don't like changing modes. It's bad because whatever your reason is for not liking master modes. Then after you talk about why it's bad, right, you have to actually give them time to change it. If you say it's bad and then you say it's bad on Monday, then you say it's bad on Tuesday, then you say it's bad on Wednesday, when did they have time to change it? You just said it was bad for 3 days in a row. So yes, a lot of people are upset with master modes, but I think overall the direction is good. I mean, if my opinion on master modes is that the direction is in the right direction. It may not be there yet, but I think they're showing promise, right? Obviously it's not the final product. So I just don't understand why people have so many issues with master modes, knowing that this isn't the final product and knowing this is the first iteration of it. Every time we've got the first iteration of something, it has had flaws. Every time we have got the first iteration of anything in Star Citizen, it has had flaws. So this is master modes V1 basically, and it could even be tier 0 for all I know. I'm guessing it's tier 1, but that means generally we're gonna get a tier 2, a tier 3, and we know that 4.0 is coming and 1.0 is coming. So we know at the very least there's 2 versions of where master modes is going to change. We know that at those 2 points, it will either get a rework, anywhere up to a rework down to, minor tweaks to make it more effective. Maybe ships are a little faster, a little slower, maybe pips change, whatever it is, right? But it's going to change. And I think that's the one consistent thing that everybody believes is that is going to change. So yes, if you do the petty bickering in the spectrum, just be prepared, because it's probably going to get canceled like this, because they said, hey folks, having observed the directions of comments with the petty bickering and jabs in this thread, we're going to call this to a close here. So yes, some people like it, some people don't. People are going to argue about it from now until forever. I don't really care if you argue about it. I just ignore all the arguments for that stuff. I listen when people have constructive criticism of it, but I don't listen when people are just arguing about it. So I don't really care to comment on drama, but this just so happens to be what the notes are today, where devs are having to respond. So wait for Concierge Support. If you're gonna say something about master modes that is gonna about changing it or why it needs change, probably make those constructive criticisms rather than just pooping on it. And that's pretty much it. So enough with the drama, on to the cool stuff. The Doing My Part video contest ended on May 29th, and we have 3 winners. The third place won an Aegis Sirebird, or Sirebird. I would like to sire a bird. That's probably not something you should do. That's probably illegal in like all of the states, all of the countries probably. Don't sire birds. It's a Firebird. Aegis Saber Firebird. Okay. The third place that won an Aegis Saber Firebird is Rob Coxey. So I think he did the old man talking about doing his part. I don't want to play the videos because I don't want to get copyright striked or whatever. But yeah, this one you can go and watch all the participant winner videos. This is on-air interview with independent salvage contractor. So this guy does salvage, and that's his doing my part thing. And he won a Saber Firebird. Then for somebody won an Aegis Retaliator Bomber, and that was the cleanup guy. So this guy has I think he has like a Corsair, and he goes around just blowing up ships, and he's talking about that's his cleanup, which is pretty cool. And he has a unique song in this one, and he has like a song that he did himself, or at least it's original. I don't know if he did it himself. Yeah, I think that this was a pretty cool video. They're all 15 seconds, so you can watch all 3 of them within a minute. So don't think that this is like some long video stuff. I'm actually probably going to start doing these contests next year. Or maybe this year. I don't know. Let's see if they have another video contest. Now I know how to do a little bit of video editing. Maybe I could do something. And then this one, I think, was Respect Your Elders. I think it was either about the Mark 1 or the Mark 2. I think it was the Mark 1. And basically they're just saying like your ships will get rusty if you leave them inside or something. So respect your ships and take them out every once in a while or something like that. And then they get in there. It was very well cut and well shot. And they won the Redeemer. Oh, wow. $330 ship. Nice. Very nice. With LTI. Very, very nice. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. You know, sometimes the devs have to respond to drama. That I can't exclude it. Even though I'm not particularly fond of Star Citizen drama. That is what's happening in Star Citizen. That has to be on the nightly report if the devs are talking about it. And devs, they want you to chill out and let them respond to the support stuff, even if it takes 3 weeks. And they, if you don't like master modes, they prefer it be some constructive criticism, and enter the contest because apparently they're giving away really amazing ships. That was a $175 ship, a $275 ship, and a $330 ship, just for doing a 15-second video, which probably, you know, if you do an original song, you got to do that, of course. If you do the editing and cutting and filming and stuff, you know, it takes work, but you know, hey, you didn't spend any money at least, right? So there it is. All right, that's it for Star Citizen Nightly. I will see you in the next one. Peace.